Welcome to Blue Tinted Glasses, the home of Leicester City talk on YouTube. Fan debates, live watch-alongs, post-match reactions, and all the Foxes banter you could ask for. Subscribe now and see the game through Blue Tinted Glasses.
Just into race clear. He's got Jamie Vardy with him. Jamie Vardy sets off. Jamie Vardy! Back here for Fatawu. Oh, he scored an absolute belter. That is trademark Abdul Fatawu.
This one into the box. Nugent over the top. Oh, what a goal! David Nugent's just scored a beauty. He's made Forest look like fools.
Premier League champions 2016. The amazing Leicester City.
Good evening and welcome back to Blue Tinted Glasses. Here we are on a Tuesday night. No analysis, no Tuesday night tactics after a bloody cup game against Cheltenham. But instead we are here with some transfer news. It is the January transfer window. I personally didn't think we'd be talking about much until a little bit later on in the month, but we do have quite a bit to talk about tonight, and some very good news, as I'm sure you are all aware already. Before we get into it, Anil, what's going on, mate? How's things with you?
Yeah, very good. Bring on the news. Let's talk about it.
100%. Doc just finished his uni exam. How are you, mate?
I'm feeling great. A few weeks break now, and hopefully, some interesting Leicester transfer business to go alongside it. This is certainly a good start to my few weeks vacation, now you can call it. So, yeah, I'm excited.
Yeah, let's just quickly see who's here in the chat. Evening to Chappers, hope you're doing well, mate. Phil, evening all, give us some good news. Yes, I'm sure you've already seen it. LCFC Daz, hello to you. Frankie, hello. Brian says, hi guys, don't think we're getting any incomings. We'll talk about it, mate. Aki, Naeem says, hello to you, mate. Ray, evening all. And Mighty Banana says, I don't think I passed my exams. He just did his English exam. Fingers crossed, mate.
I don't think I passed my finance exam either. We all have to get back up every now and then. So yeah, I mean, it happens to all of us. Don't be too hard on yourself.
Yeah. Right, lads, let's get into it. The first thing to talk about this evening is going to be, of course, Wout Faes. Done deal, moved very quickly. Obviously, the news broke similar like this time yesterday that he was the interview from Marty after the Cheltenham game, which was only aired yesterday, suggested that he was going to go because Marty was just like, well, we'll give you some news soon. And then literally 10 minutes later, there was some journalists abroad who were saying that he's on his way to Monaco. Today, the rumour is he was training in Monaco this morning, and a few hours later, we get the confirmation from both Monaco and Leicester City he has gone out on loan. So, Anil, talk to me, mate. How are you feeling about this one? Because it's not all positive, is it, Anil? The type of deal it is slightly negative, I suppose. We can take a negative from that. But he isn't here for the next 6 months. That's great.
Yeah, look, to be fair, as you're saying, with the way that the deal is that it's not permanent, and therefore I think there's a high chance we are going to see him in the summer. It's an interesting one, right? Because I think the option is something like 5 million, and I wonder what you guys think, but it wouldn't surprise me, to be honest with you, if that means that he does come back. Because if that was a Premier League club, they can just afford to spunk 5 million down the drain, like clubs do it all the time, right? West Ham just bought a striker for 25 million that the Portuguese club bought for 250,000 in the summer. You can't make it up, right? But this particular thing is nothing like that. So we'll have to see. But look, at the end of the day, Wout Faes, what a wanker. As you've said it many times, Locks, who's the player that you hate the most? It is, of course, Wout Faes. You absolutely hate him. We all hate him. He thinks he's like God's gift to football. He's not. He's a big reason why we got relegated twice. He's been found out in the Championship this season when he's played. He has on occasion looked all right, but, good riddance. I don't think he's the worst one we've got in the entire dressing room, but, get rid. So you got to be happy on that. And I think that, I don't know, you guys, what do you think? Even in the summer, if he doesn't get sold, do you think we'll try and probably farm him out again, right?
Yeah. It's about getting the wages of the book then. What I will say, when you mentioned that release, or not release clause, but option to buy, I think it's important that all Leicester fans, really start believing that he'll turn into prime Maldini at Monaco, so they hopefully, fulfill that obligation, right? Because if he's playing, like a top tier league earned centre back for them, they do have 5 or 6 million to spend. But if he's not starting week in, week out, and really contributing, I totally agree with Anil. It likely won't be exercised, right? So hopefully he plays well. But it's a lot of wages off the books, right? It's 1.3 million pounds saved for the rest of the season, according to Capology. That's quite a lot, right? When you're pinching for pennies, 1.3 million, over half a year for a few players on loan, that can happen. Many of the ones we've gotten in are reportedly around half of what was earned from Wout Faes. So yeah, I mean, any way we can improve our wiggle room and try and get a few loans in is a positive to me, especially when it's Deadwood, who likely aren't very good for the culture Leicester want to be looking towards cultivating for themselves. So yeah, I think it's a positive, even if obviously you can find the negatives in it, because we all would have liked to see him gone now for 5, 6, or maybe even just a few million quid, to be honest. I just want to see him gone permanently.
Well, I was going to say, the worry is he goes there, he's shit, and he's just back with us in the summer.
Yeah, that's
the positive.
That's a realistic outcome.
yeah, but the positive, the one we can hope for, the outcome we can hope for is he goes there. He's very good, which I think he could be. He could do well.
Last time, right? Was he not in the season or something, or captain at the very
something like that? Range? Yeah. Well, Leicester bought him. You know what I mean?
Do you know Monaco have got this month in the Champions League? They got Real Madrid and Juventus. So Wout Faes has gone from being schooled by Milanos Matic of Preston North End. I remember that earlier in the season. He's going to be playing against Kylian Mbappe. Let's see. But look, he wants to get to the World Cup. So, it's on him to impress the bejesus out of everyone there in Monaco. But he's so fluky, man. I don't know about you. Obviously, I'm glad he's going. But how do some people get all the luck, right? Relegated, like I say, twice in 3 seasons. He plays in such a way that the fans hate him. There's been plenty of other players we've had that haven't been that good either. But who do you hate more, Jordan Ayew or Wout Faes? Do you know what I mean? A lot of people dislike Jordan Ayew, but the level of hatred of Faes on another level. And despite that, somehow all the clubs, I would have thought he'd ended up in Turkey, like Besiktas or something like that, which is still all right. But how come he ends up at Monaco, whereas Wilfred Ndidi doesn't, for example? Because Ndidi'd been linked with Monaco a few times. Of those players, I know which one would have deserved it. So fluky bastard,
track record, right? It has to be the track record of he might have sucked in the Premier League, but we saw how good he was last time he was here in Ligue 1. Maybe it's the level of the league or the style of football they play over there. I don't know, but I'm happy someone's taking him, right? That's the first thing.
We also don't know, we'll never know the details on what percentage of the wages Monaco are going to pay, what the loan fee, because there will be some kind of loan fee. It could be pennies, but you never know. It could be 500,000, something like that, and it could fund our own loan, our own loan, fee. So there's always that. So, yes, we would have all preferred he went out, but as I said, I think this summer somebody will pick him up. Somebody. I don't care who it is. I mean, we managed to get Cody gone for 2 million. Someone will pay silly money.
Crowdfund a few million for a different club so they can spend that money on buying Wout Faes from us. Scrape together a few million quid.
The problem is the wages, and Andreas, though. It always is, right? Because with Leicester, it's if he's on 60 grand a week, I don't believe he is, but he could be.
He's on a reported 50 right now from Capology. But then again, that's likely not totally accurate. But it is definitely up in the higher earners of the club, right? Not a top earner, but just below that. I mean, according to Capology, the top owners is Harry Winks on 90, Boubakary Soumare on 80, Ricky on 80, and Pat Sandaka on 75 grand. So that's something I'm looking forward to as well when I looked at that, because in the summer, all those deals will be up. And that's, my quick math says, that's 4, 8, 12, 15, 16 million quid you're saving a year in wages. That's about the same we get from gate receipts in an entire season. So that's a lot of money all of a sudden that's freed up. And this Leicester rebuild that we're in the process of, which doesn't really feel like it started, but all of a sudden there is a chance that it could begin to take shape if we hopefully get that technical director. And we haven't heard anything since on what happened with that after the past week, but hopefully something will be announced soon.
I was going to say, Neil, like I know a lot of fans have moaned about this season, and rightly so, I suppose, about the rebuild, which has been spoken about so much, being kind of half-hearted in the summer. But us Football Manager players know very well it is very hard to get rid of everybody in one summer. Sometimes it does take longer, especially when they've been as shit as they have for the last couple of years. You know, it was always going to be hard to get Fast gone. We've managed to temporarily get him gone. And remember, you can't just, you know, I see so many people in Neil saying, just cancel the contract, cancel this, cancel that. You can't, because of you take a hit on PSR if you do that.
We cannot afford that.
And we cannot.
Do you know what though? I do want to disagree with you a little bit. The reason why is because I see other teams that are so good at doing it. Like Aston Villa are the best, right? They like Daniel Marlon, they bought him like last January when they backed Emery to try and get the Champions League. Now they're going to get rid of him to Atletico, and somehow, somewhere, they're always able to like cycle the cash in and out. And just always bringing other people. And I say, okay, fair enough. They got Emery, they got Monchi.
Are like so overpaid. I mean,
well, Southampton have done it though.
Yeah, yeah, they have. But I mean, maybe it's because I'm thinking FM brain. But I think we've all tried. You know, you go in, you ask an intermediary to find offers, you tell them to find the new club, you transfer list them, you offer them out, you accept offers, and because you know it's a shit player on way too much money for your club, they're like, I'm not accepting a contract offer from this club. They're only going to be paying me, you know, a third. I'm not saying that
Patson Daka though that we know bids have come in for. So let's be
in those cases, I totally agree. But I mean, it would be unrealistic to expect all of the debt would have been out in the one window. But we definitely, like Luke Thomas, when we got a £5 million offer from him a year ago when we were in the Prem, ship him off. He had 1.5 years left on his deal at that point.
It's all right. Graham thinks we're going to get money back for Luke Thomas. That's why we gave him the 4-year contract, because we're going to get money for him at some point. Yeah, whatever.
To argue in your favour, Locks, I mean, the fact is that we gave all these players ridiculous contracts. So in Patson Daka's case, he would rather stick around at Leicester than try and move. That just says everything you need to know, both about the player, but also about the type of contracts that we've given. We should go more to like what Spurs, I hate to say it, do when they give like incentivized based contracts. So you get like a base of like 50k, but let's say you're a striker at the end of the season, if you got 10 goals, it was actually 60k. It was 20 goals. It was actually 100k that we paid you. That's how we should be doing it. And that's honestly by right.
Bonuses, right? Yeah, that sounds very logical.
Here's the thing. I don't know if the new technical director is actually going to be in charge for that. That's the thing that has to change at Leicester. Because otherwise it's just like... Because the problem is as well that after we got relegated into the Championship, it actually felt like we made some fairly smart signings. Obviously, Cody and Winks look stupid, right? But you could at least say they're England internationals. But then you've gone and got
Wings
Jordan.
Worked in the first season, right? Like he was key in that promotion bid.
Yeah, but then when you see he's on 80 grand a week in the Championship, I'm sorry, that was a stupid right now, deal.
It's absolutely ridiculous, especially when you're already battling PSR. But yeah.
Well, you just got to know when to walk away, and they don't seem to do it. So, you know, I've always... Because my fear is, Locks, is that even if, like, this summer we get rid of almost everyone, who's to say it's not going to happen again? Lightning will strike twice with these bozos unless we get someone who's going to do it. So I really hope that whoever's coming in is going to be that person. We'll see, because if they do come in... you know what, I'm going to say this already. Like, if they do come on the fan channels and speak to us, then I think the club's going in the right direction. If they're just going to get another yes man pussy, you can say that,
mate.
Well, if that ain't happening, then club is then we got to make a bigger noise about it, because if they're going to always keep doing that, then they're not learning, and we will be forever stuck in this cycle of doom.
I think, I mean, you know, I don't think the plan was, you know, rightly or wrongly, I don't think the plan ever was really for a technical director to oversee January. But I do think, and I think even you in there, I think even a lot of the fans who are, you know, very critical, I think we all kind of agree that next summer we probably will spend quite a bit of money. I mean, because we'll have to, first of all, because there's so many leaving. Well, we'll have to. I don't, you know, when I say a lot of money, if we're in the Championship, like 20 million is a lot of money in the Championship, right? But my point is here, the technical director, if he is in soon, you know, he's got a few months leading up to it. And if it is Andy Goldie, as I know you lads both looked at last week, he does have that background in young players, recruiting young players with high potential. And that's a positive for me. You know, naturally, you know, he's going to be looking at that type of player, and that's maybe why they've picked him, right? I know some people will say they only picked him because he's Southampton, which is a bit of a funny thing, right? But he has the background in the academy. and players like Tyler Dibbling, he was overseeing his development and progression through. And he's also, for the Sports Republic teams, obviously, as you know, dealt with recruiting young, high potential 17 to 21-year-olds, I think it said. So I see that as only a positive, personally.
I would love to have Andy Golding in or Eddie Golding, or whatever his first name is, sorry, if I forgot that.
Andy Goldie.
Andy Goldie, yeah. I'd really love to have him in, because from what I looked at and what I can see, he's been able to deliver results in the areas he's been a part of, right? Obviously, Southampton had to sell their wonder kids, but I don't think Tyler Dibbling would have been sold if they'd stayed up in the Premier League. It's just because they were absolutely woeful. And I mean, he was not the one responsible for signing the dross they were signing on managerial appointments, right? He was just overseeing the academy, which had been doing quite well. For me, what I don't like is that we're stuck in this limbo for so long, because I would like the technical director in now. I would have liked it a month ago, even if they weren't going to oversee January. The tasks they have ahead of them require a lot of preparation for, especially what you just said, Lux. It's a key summer window, right? So many big players are out of contracts. The squad will need balancing. Talent will need to be brought up from the academy if they are ready to fill the numbers and, invest smartly in players like Jordan James, who are very quality and on, 10, 15 grand a week and, is fighting hard every week for the badge. And, you can't be coming in May expecting to be ready for that. You can't be coming in late April. I mean, even I would say April in general, or maybe even March, is a bit late to be coming in for the entire realignment of Leicester City. You could say that you have as a job in front of you, coming in as a technical director. So I need them in now, even if Eddie Goldie's not gonna do a thing. Andy Goldie is gonna do a thing this January, because he needs to be planning for the big summer that's ahead. Every day that's going right now without a technical director in is a day less prepared will be for a summer that will, be crucial for Leicester City. It will be absolutely crucial.
Right, I've just seen a comment, and I can't believe I've just read what I've read, but hey-ho, we're going to talk about it next, so here we go. Dalva says, we need someone like that QPR striker. So, if you've been living under a rock, the last couple of days, there's been reports. It is the Mail, so, who knows on that one, and a couple of the other, Footy Insider and Football League World. But Lyndon Dykes has been linked to Leicester City. The 30-year-old striker who last season, they're this season stats, but last season I think scored 1 goal in 25 games in League One. Charlton are apparently in advanced talks with them for him. Leicester City also apparently interested. I read today even that it could even be a loan for a few months, but his market value is £1 million. Anil, what was the first thing that you thought in your head when you saw this rumour pop up?
I just started laughing. I couldn't hide it. I just couldn't help laugh. It just if ever you wanted to know how much the club has fallen, it's this. I mean, he's a proper jobber, sort of lower end championship player, played a bit in Scotland. I mean, he'd be absolutely desperate to bring someone like this in. And you know what? We are desperate. So, it makes me laugh that it's probably been strung, our name, just to get the move through to Charlton, which says everything you need to know.
Like Kone, last summer.
But it's like, how can... Well, who's the odd one out here, Lux? Let me ask you. Mikel Antonio, Callum Wilson, Lyndon Dykes.
Well, it depends on which. It depends what angle you got, mate. Because they're all old, right?
Yeah, you can say the odd one out is Mikel Antonio because he can't even walk properly, and the other two can at least play football. But
one of them's got 3 legs, the others only have 2.
Hey, exactly.
Or Antonio might. Well, he's probably only got 1 now, actually. Mikel Antonio. But no. I mean, look, this is. I mean, we are battling allegedly. We are battling Charlton for strikers. I mean, that shows where we are now, Doc, at the minute. I mean, if it's a loan for 6 months and we're not able to spend any money, then fair enough. But then again, why can't we spend any money? We spent 0 in the fucking summer, right? So
I mean,
why can't you spend anything now?
In January last January, right? I mean, we haven't spent what was the last big signing the club made? Bilal Kanous when we got promoted, or was it Oliver Skip maybe? I can't remember who of those two arrived the latest. And then, we've spent 3 million on Woyo Koulibaly since then. So
I think Skip was the latest.
yeah.
Skip
So
was
the
our
latest,
last big signing.
So our last big signing is still Oliver Skip, who, is now starting to come good, but still a long way to go to redeem the price
He's
tag
not
John
coming
Rudkin.
good.
No, he's doing better now. He's
He's decent. He's decent now.
And
I
but he's
think.
never a 25 million pound player or 20 million pound, whatever price tag you want to put on him. But that's on John Rudkin, right? I mean, still a horrible deal. The thing is, I mean, Lyndon Dykes, he's not a good player at all. I think he's absolutely dog shit. When I watched Denmark versus Scotland, I was almost cheering when he got subbed on because I knew they weren't going to score a fucking thing, man. He's so horrible. Please do not let us sign him. I would rather we, fucking put you up top, Locks, instead. I think you'd have a higher chance of getting a goal than him, man.
Jake Evans.
Yeah,
If Marcy
play
wasn't
Jake
such
Evans.
a pussy, he could play him, couldn't he?
Yeah, I'd rather not see us spend any penny at all and save, the few pounds we save by not getting Lyndon Dykes in to help with the PSR case than spend on him. It's a loan spot that would be wasted. It's a striker that would be wasted. And yeah, we really need to wheel and deal. But guys, look outside the English market. We're not going to get anyone in here, I think, who will be a good deal for us. So yeah.
Nil, there is nothing positive about this, don't get me wrong, but I'm just saying, let's just look at it this way. So, I think I read something today that said, Leicester are looking for a striker who can occupy the back line, the defenders, the two centre-backs, whatever, to create more space.
That sounds so wrong.
I thought you were going to say occupy the bench. I was like, I believe that.
No, to occupy defenders to give the wingers more space, right? That's what I read today. Look, he played for Marty, of course, as well. So that's it's not a massive surprise. I think some people said in the summer we're going to go in for Lyndon Dykes. We're going to go in for Lyndon Dykes. Obviously, we didn't. We might have. But tactically, Neil, can you see this maybe working somehow?
I can't see it working. I can see it happening. I'll give you one though. What would you say if we did actually sell Patson Daka for, let's say, 10 million to Betis, and then we brought in Lyndon Dykes because we had to have another striker? Does that make the team better or worse?
I mean, has he not scored more goals this Premier League season than on a Premier League?
They've scored the same.
I mean, I will say, if we then get 10 million for Daka and we loan him in for 6 months just to, be the backup to Ayew, then I'm fine with it. If it's because we're selling Daka for a shit ton of money, or like even if we're selling him for 5 million, I would be okay with it. But before we get a sale on Daka, we should not be spending £1 on this guy.
Well,
he would buy him, but it could be a loan, right? It could be a loan.
Yeah. But that loan spot can be used so much better, right? Yeah. Like, surely I haven't sat there.
There is, Doc. You're right.
Like,
Doc, you're right. There's a striker out there.
You find a player who's down on his luck, maybe who hasn't had the best time, but who's young, or at the very least like had a talent at one point, or maybe you take the gamble again. Didn't work with Aaron Ramsey in terms of injury, but you find a player who's too good for this level, but has been unlucky with injuries and is looking to get minutes back on the pitch. Like, I'd rather see that gamble than a gamble that, at maximum is doing nothing for us. Like, this is genuinely just a numbers signing, right? It's because you would want a new backup for Jordan Ayew. Like, that's all that is. I'd rather see us, than bank on someone who, down on the luck or whatnot, who could, at the very least, maybe take over and do a better job. Like,
Neil, I think this one is that bad that I would actually be actively encouraging John Rudkin to get in on the phone to Wasserman and find a striker represented by Wasserman. There has to be...
I'm going to check Transfermarkt now and see if I can find someone then.
There has to be another striker out there who would be willing to drop down to the Championship. We could get on loan, who isn't playing at their parent club. Am I right in saying, like, we'd never get this guy, by the way. We'd never get him. But I saw, like, Mayenda is being looked at, loaned out, potentially by Sunderland. And he's incredible. He's great. Mayenda's great. So why does it have to be some 30-year-old fucking waster? I'm going to call him a waster. He scored 2 goals in... Well, he scored... If you combine last season and this season, he scored 4 goals in 56 games. 4 goals in 56 games.
Prolific. Well, maybe it's just because the wages and the lack of fee means you're just... Do you know what I mean? It's like, I don't know, it's like the end of a night in the nightclub and you can only get what's left. I mean, it kind of feels that way, doesn't it?
Steady.
Yeah. So, no, of course, we all think it's not. To be honest, Lux, I mean, the thing that saddens me, though, is that I think there's still options at the club, right? I think, what about Lorenz Hutchinson? A lot of people have been talking about him actually getting a loan move this January, that a lot of clubs want him. Okay, they're probably League 2, League 1. But I mean, the fact that Jake Evans hasn't been used either, that's really bad. I'd rather you tried Mavadidi up front, maybe, than of the options that we've got.
I'd rather see more Silko Thomas up front.
Yeah. So
can you not get Chido Obi? Is he not available to loan?
Yeah, I mean, he's not playing at all at the moment, right? Like, he scored 2 goals yesterday in the U21s against Wolves.
That's a weird one, isn't it? I know that Ipswich are after him in the summer. So why and now they've got the manager change, right? So I don't see Michael Carrick using him all of a sudden. I don't know, maybe he will.
Would Man United not?
Who's Wasserman agency and a striker, by the way, and free agent?
Man United have only got 17 games left this season.
Andre Ayew is free agent and Wasserman agency. Maybe John Wright can call him.
You know what? Genuinely, that is something Leicester would do. Make it so that both brothers are at the club. Yeah. Callum Wilson could still happen, by the way. We're not saying that's not happening, John. Who was it? It was Ben Jacobs when it was TalkSport. So take that with a fucking pinch of salt. But so it could still be the case. We just don't know. I mean, would you rather Callum Wilson or Lyndon Dykes? And the reason I ask that, hold on, no, it's a genuine question because one of them is clearly better, right? But the other is a lot fitter and is available a lot more of the time. Is it still Are you still picking Callum Wilson all day? Yeah, I thought so.
The thing is, because if we get Lyndon Dykes, what will it? It'll just drain all morale out of you. It's one of those that you're better off not doing it just because of that. There's no excitement. It just says we have given up as a club. That's what that sort of signing says. Even if Wilson, you signed him and he got injured right away, people might go, "Oh, we told you so." But I don't know. At least
you really accept a signing like this is like a Begovic one, right? Where it's like backup goalkeeper, get the experience in because you have a younger core around him who can use his experience to grow themselves, and he'll play a game whenever he's called upon, but nothing more, nothing less. Like that's the only time these sort of signings I would say is acceptable because even Callum Wilson that's a bit more. He's played in the Premier League and maybe West Ham just wasn't the right fit. So he could do some damage here maybe.
Do you mean signing like Ryan Bennett during a Champions League push for top 4 was not the right time to do it? Is that what you're saying, Doc?
No, don't remind us all. Or signing Wout Faes to replace Wesley Fofana, who was one of the best centre-backs I've ever seen at the club.
Brendan Rodgers, future captain Brendan Rodgers said about Wout Faes. There you go. Okay, let's move on. Let's talk about another player, and that is Harry Winks. I've read in the last hour actually. Is it Valencia are back interested as well? That was the rumor that we had a few weeks ago. And no, I would put a lot of money on this being the next one gone because similarly to Faes, he's not even made the squad recently. He seems to be missing. Funny enough, Winks is older. I'd say he's more of an attractive option than Wout Faes to clubs, even especially abroad, right? Spanish clubs. I think Harry Winks and would go to Spain and do really well. I think he could do really well over there. So hopefully this one's the next one. I would imagine, the delay here is the fact that he's got 6 months left on his deal and the club would want a little bit of money for him. I think if you work out the amortization against his deal, he's about 2 million quid on the books. So the problem here is trying to probably get the 2 million. It's 2 million quid.
2 million quid, right?
It probably will be something like that.
He's got half a year left. Was he not 7 mil?
9 mil.
Is that not more? Oh, he was 9 mil. I thought he was 7. Was that Cody?
No, that was Cody.
I think he was 10, is what I heard. Anyway,
I think it was 9 pushing to 10. Yeah, 9.
Jesus Christ! Did we really? I thought he was 7 and Cody was 5. Wow. Yeah, never mind. Then it's 2 mil. That's fucking shocking. But I'm not gonna lie. If we just get him off the books, we save 2 million in wages on him for even just half a year or around that mark. So
but a team will not pay, and no team is going to pay 100% of his wages. No way, no how. So it's going to be what we did with Soumare when we were in a championship, where we're still paying 40% of his wages. I think we're going to have to do that. Yeah.
Maybe if the team will sign him permanently after, they just get him, for free half a year earlier if they pay his wages for that half a year. You can maybe wheel and deal, but.
Look, that's not how it works, man, because he does not want to say goodbye to that money, so he's going to insist on all of it,
of course.
Right? So, and the club is not going to be stupid enough to pay him 80 grand when they know they can pay him half that in the summer.
Yeah, but then they will sign a contract where he, goes down in wage in the summer when he then officially joins the club, and then he just joins.
Yeah, but I'm saying for right now, for him to leave the thing right now, he will be entitled to that 80k. So somehow, as Lox is saying, I predict you're probably right, Lox. I think probably I don't think he'll lose till quite late in the window, though. I could even see it on the last day, but he'll probably go to whatever team's got injured midfielders and need somebody, and they'll pay probably 50% of his wages, so 40k a week. And I still think that's huge in the Championship. Let me tell you, I would doubt if any of those top 6 teams have a player. Even Ipswich. I bet Ipswich right now don't have a player on 40 grand a week. So I think he'll end up going somewhere like, we'll have to pay half the wages, but whatever. Because the thing is surely what we're hoping is with Faes off the books, with Winks off the books, should be able to bring in some players ourselves. Or I don't know, pay off Marty's fucking sacking fee. I don't know, but yeah.
That's a really good question.
I was just going to quickly say, Anil, you're right. The highest paid player at Ipswich is 35k a week.
Yeah.
Somebody just did the maths. 360 grand a month we pay Harry Winks. 360 grand a month. Just very briefly, we'll come back to Winks in a sec, but would anybody take Sammy Smodics? Like, I would rather. I know he's like he likes to play a little bit deeper. I would take him over Lyndon Dykes.
Yeah.
For sure.
The big time.
Because he can score.
Yeah.
He can score in this league.
He's not a jobber either. Did you not see last time when they beat us, when he kept Blackburn up on the last day? His goals came from running from the halfway line. All right, it's not that difficult to beat Vestergaard, but he's not slow. So, yeah, if you're talking about a loan... But you know where he's going Derby, don't you?
From what happened, you heard this rumour? No? You think about something else? Why is
I'm thinking of someone else. You tell me this gossip in a moment, but he's going to Derby because John Eustace is the manager, and John Eustace was the manager with him at Blackburn. That's why I assume he's going there. But come on, now you can't just then see something like that. What have you heard?
Well, I know why he's allegedly.
Oh, really?
Allegedly, the reason he's leaving Ipswich is because there was an incident at one of their. I don't know if it was a Christmas party or earlier than that, where there was a incident involving, how should I say this, racial slur.
Oh,
really?
I'm caveating this, everybody, allegedly. Okay. Yeah. Towards a former Leicester player. You know who that is. So apparently that's why he's allegedly rumours, and the rumours aren't my rumour. It's Ipswich fans' rumours. But yeah, that's apparently why he's leaving Ipswich. So maybe we don't want him, but still, great goal scorer at this level when he's on it, and I would rather him over Lyndon Dykes. So yeah, good comment, Stephen. But no, Harry Winks. I think that is, like I said, I think that's probably where the club are at right now. I think, it's Casey. Frankie, it's Casey. No, I think where the club is at right now is probably negotiating his exit somehow. Like you said, Anil, the hardest part, I think, with this whole Winks thing is getting the contract sorted because, 80k a week, no other club is going to want to pay that. He's not going to want to go without it. This is the thing, though, isn't it? It's like, be a man. Like if you care more about the money than playing, all right, mate, stay here till June. But if you actually want to play, then fucking show it. If all you care about is actually playing football, show it. And
well, that's why he's a rat, isn't he? Because to be fair, early on in the season he came on and he was man of the match a few times, right? But it's the fact that he's pulling out of challenges and clearly, that's so unprofessional. You never would have thought it. So. It's a weird one because, as you said about him being more attractive an option, I mean, like, even if you pay him a lot, if a player is actually good, then they're worth the money that you pay them, right? It's just so... It really grinds your gears, doesn't it, when you get someone like that who decides to be a complete dick like that and literally put their club in the mud. I don't remember this. There's someone about Jack Rodwell when he was on 40 grand a week and Sunderland got relegated to League One and he still refused to leave. So you just cost them all this money and they were just like, please go. There are teams that will like pay you half your wages, but you can play football right now. It's like, no, I'm all right, lads. I'd rather just sit here and earn my money.
Yeah, that was crazy.
Well, that's what Winks is doing. That's what Winks is doing. So it's very sad to see that.
You can't do it for much longer, but it's true.
But then you just think, if you and you had the opportunity to be a professional footballer, the career is so short. I wouldn't want to, like, you could get injured and be out for 6 months. Me, I just want to play. There's no better feeling than playing, right? And, oh, man, crazy.
Yeah. I have a question if we have time for that, because I've been seeing a lot of Leeds fans on my feed, both like Twitter and TikTok recently, talking about James Justin's how we all lied that he was shit because he got one man of the match against Liverpool. I don't know how you guys feel about that, because it made me think of it when we talked about Casey McAteer, because I'm seeing a lot of Ipswich fans unhappy with the 12 million we scammed them out for him. But I still feel like James Justin for 10 million was like a brilliant piece of business for John Rudkin. One of the few good things he's done.
Yeah. I thought that was a good deal for all round, to be honest, because I still think, given the wages that he's probably on, a player that can play right back and left back is going to be highly professional for 10 million. You can think of much. He wasn't going to be first team, was there as a squad option. So I think, like I say, I think it was an all right fee for an all right player that'll be okay. And so it's just all right. GG's all round, you know what I mean? I just don't think it's not, you don't always have to scam other clubs, right? Sometimes you can just do a decent bit of business that suits all parties, I think.
We only scam Ipswich when they come for a winger.
Well, let's say Harvey Barnes, right? We sold him for 35, and I think we could have probably got a bit more out of it. But given that we got the money up front, Newcastle get a good player. We got the money up front. It allowed us to rebuild and come up as the championship.
Different gravy.
Of course, but what I'm saying is, Locks, is you probably have to say that all round it was a decent deal for all parties, is what I'm saying, right? No one really, like I say, everyone does all right off it, which is it's okay.
And it was done with time as well for us to reinvest that money into the squad for the.
Well, that's why it was a good deal for us, right? We probably could have waited to get another 5 or 10 out of it, but it was like we need to move quickly.
I think they learned that lesson there from the Fafana, right, where they like wanted that extra 5 million or whatnot. They were left scrambling about fast, became the replacement, and no one else came in for 80 million euros.
I did hear that the Barnes situation. I did hear on Barnes that he was willing to stay in the Enzo season as well. I did hear that.
Wow.
And it was PSR led, like Kiernan. PSR, pure profit, pure 35 mil profit.
I miss him so much, man. I miss Barnes. He was one of my favorite players to watch, man. Holy, the one
so direct
goes and then.
Yeah.
And I see some, like, every time I watch Newcastle play, because I watch them a lot with Nick Woltemade playing, I have him in my fantasy, and I think it's quite fun to watch. And I see Barnes, and it still hurts, man. Like, James Madison, I couldn't give a fuck about. But Barnes, man, that hurts. That still hurts when I watch him.
Okay, moving on. Boubakary Soumare. So he has a little bit of interest, although I've read today that Monaco are out of that one. Can you imagine we shifted both wings, both Faes and Soumare to Monaco? But there is still interest. Ignore the market value, because we all know that's bullshit. But 26 years old, a couple of years at the club. Dex, I'm just saying the rumour is, well, not even a rumour. I've heard that he was happy to stay. I'm not saying that he if he had to pick, but I'm saying that if he stayed, he would have been fine with that season. But yeah, Boubakary Soumare, another one who's not near the team. Now, he was injured, but I think he's back, but still not playing, if I'm not mistaken. There are 3 players, at least, that Marty's alluded to. There are 3 players at least who did ask to leave in the summer. I would imagine he's probably one of them, because his time, similarly to Faes and Vestergaard and Daka, has been pretty horrific. So, what are you thinking on this one, mate? Do you see Boobs leaving this month potentially, or do you think it might be a bit difficult to get him gone?
I don't see him leaving, because I just don't think a club will take him. I think. Do you know it's crazy? I'll have to say, and the way I'm going to say this, but I think Wout Faes is a better player than Boubakary Soumare. I at least can think of some games where Faes. I think Wout Faes was a better player. Like Soumare probably had one game against Ipswich where he looked okay. No, you can say that. Look at the stats.
For Leicester, I'd agree with you, but I feel like in Soumare when he joined, I don't know. I saw the player in him. We've seen in like few glimpses. I don't think we've ever seen him for a full 90, but like you see glimpses every now and then where Booba, like, oh, that's why I like Booba. But
mate, one touch a game does not make a player. Wout Faes, at least he was in the team, first team, in a team that got 97 points and won the championship. Soumare, this is right from Dexter, man. This guy's crud. That's why no one wants him. Whatever.
Could Seville not go back in for him, man? They were pretty happy with him when they last time.
With Boo, but It's weird. It's like I want him to be good because I think if he was on it like every minute of every game, I actually think he'd be incredible.
Probably, but
He
he's
has
not.
like too concentration in FM, probably, man.
Yeah.
I think that's the
Mate,
issue.
he would be like Yaya Toure if he fucking was consistent.
Samare's
with
never
his
scored for
quality.
Leicester. I don't think he's even assisted. Even Skip's now beat both of those things. Skip's another one who's not particularly good, but at least he does try and has now started to do something.
Yeah.
So even
And
though he's going to go down as a bad signing, well, at least you'll say, well, he's did. I mean, this guy's done anything, man.
Yeah. I
mean,
mean, he's never done
Puma.
anything in his Leicester career, and I totally agree with that. I think just if I were to look at the two players when I saw the glimpses, I think he had higher potential. Like, which is why it annoys me so much he never worked out. But Wout Faes obviously a million times more successful because Wout Faes was undeniably very good in the Enzo Maresca season. I can't remember many blunders from him.
But I think Booba would have been great in the Enzo season if he stayed.
He
Probably
would have too,
did it?
but fact of the matter is, he fucked off to Seville. So I mean, like, hypotheticals and all that. But fact of the matter is, he's definitely the more successful Leicester player. But Soumare, the one with more potential, who, fuck me, man. If he worked out, I know my granddad was like, oh, when he signed him, there's a player in there. And he is. It just never showed. It just never.
Let's make a prediction. Where do you think Soumare will be 12 months from now?
I could see him in like mid-table Spanish club or mid-table Serie A, or maybe back to France.
I could see him at a high, not PSG, but like a Champions League French team.
I think he's going to. I'm going to make a prediction. I think he's going to Lens. I think he's going to end up at Lens or something.
No, I think he'll be somewhere better than that. I really do. Not shining. I don't think he'll be shining in 12 months, but I do think he'll be. For free in Turkey, Saudi. Somebody said as well. El Etifak says Dexter. Yeah,
It's accurate.
yeah. But yeah, it's. I mean, he was a part of that Ligue 1 winning title, wasn't he? Ligue 1 winning season with Lille. So
I think he will be at a team in the bottom half of Liga 1. So that's the
Yeah,
best.
that's why I think, like,
That's
that-
crazy,
I
Anil. Come
think
on.
there
That
is
doesn't
a
mean he's
chance.
bad. That doesn't mean he's bad. I'm just saying, but that just so you know, when we bought Wout Faes, he was also from a bottom half French team that had just about managed to survive Ream when we bought him. So I think because he'll need to rebuild his career, he's not going to just go straight in. He might, maybe 2 years' time, he could be at one of those teams, but I don't think he will be right away. So that's my prediction. Anyway, let's see what happens. But I think, like I say, I think he'll go to if Saint Etienne get back up or whatever like that, he might end up somewhere there. Yeah, Paris FC maybe, but they're more ambitious. I think. I don't know. That's the second Paris club, the new one that's just sort of they're not new, but they've got a bit of money put behind them.
Yeah, were they bought by Man
The most
City's
wealthy,
owners?
the wealthiest man in Europe. Yeah.
Yeah. Not. By the way, just nothing you will ever say, Nil, will make me pick Wout Faes over Boubakary Soumare. I think we both know that. But yeah, I hear what you're saying. Yeah. Okay. Prepare yourselves, lads. We're going to talk about this guy here, Abdul Fatawu. So, not Leicester's best player this season because I think that goes to JJ. But you could argue on the stats, second best player this season. 5 goals, 7 assists in the Championship this season. Valued around between 20 and 30 million. I think we'd all hope for more though. But interest from Bournemouth, interest from Napoli and Anil. I can't see an Italian club paying what we'd want. I could see Bournemouth paying what we want. With Semenyo going, I know they'll be looking at a few different names, of course, Anil, but it would not surprise me in the slightest if they came in for Abdul Fatawu within the next couple of weeks.
Yeah, I'm kind of surprised they haven't done it already, to be honest with you. Depends, I suppose, what they're looking for. But, the thing is, it all depends on the price, doesn't it? Because the thing is, like, let's say if they offered 40 million, I'm not saying they will, but if they did, I would probably say Leicester should take it. Because...
Yeah, for 40 mil, like a very good deal, I would be able to selling him. But like a 30, 25, fuck off, mate.
Yeah, see, 30 I wouldn't do either. 35, maybe you could pull my leg and be like, okay.
Give me 35 and 10 in installments or like whatnot. Something like that, I would be there for it. But he's someone who, he still brings that energy. He still likes to play for the club. He's, clearly got quality in him when he's on it. And what I really like is even, when he has a game where he might not be 100% on it, does knock his confidence, even though his confidence sometimes might be too high, shooting from a million miles away. But at the very least, it's nice to see someone who just feels like, they're the king of the world, because we don't see that much at Leicester. People just like to feel sorry for themselves.
But Anil, you said it's down to the price, but is it also not down to the however long's left in the window, right? Because if they came in deadline day or the day before or even the week of the deadline day, no matter the price, if you've not got time to bring somebody in, because I know some people, Anil, will say, oh, well, we've got Monga, we've got Wanya, we've got Silko. For me, Anil, if you sell Fatawu, you have to buy a new winger.
I don't think they will, because I just don't think I think they'll wait.
No,
till
but
the summer.
do you think we have to?
Not really, because it depends, right? If the club was serious about getting promoted, of course you would. But I cannot believe the club is serious about getting promoted from what I've seen over the last 12 months. I think this season is all about just trying to, if we get to the playoffs flukily, we'll take it. But basically, we're just desperate to clear all the deadwood, PSR, whatever shit's happening with Kim Power, and then maybe reassess the situation in the summer. So if that's the case, because to be honest with you, whatever money comes in for Fatawu, that's going to be the new technical director. If they're going to be in charge of transfers, that's going to be their major war chest that they play with. So I think, to be honest with you, Locks, with where we are, no, I would just probably, why not play the youngsters? That means you have to play Jeremy Monga, Silko Thomas, Jake Evans. You have to, right? Would they be forced? And maybe if we're forced to, we'll find at the end of the season if they can start making the grade and pushing up. And then we get a proper player in the summer. Because like I say, I think if we were serious about getting promoted, Locks, we'd have done like what Coventry did. They loaned 2 players in the first 3 days of the window. That's what a real team that's serious about getting promoted this season would do. We're not. So, no, I wouldn't. Because what I'm scared of, Locks, like I say, is that we'll just go and sign we'll send Lyndon Dykes or something like that, right? I'd rather just like take your time. It's one of those things, right? A bad decision is worse than a rush decision, right? You know what I mean? So you better off, in my opinion. That's what I would say. But I know what you're saying, but that's how I see it.
What about you, Doc? If we sold Fatawu, would you try and just get by then until the end of the season, or would you buy? Because I am 99% confident, 99% sure, lads, that the idea of this window is to shift. I don't know how to word this. This is what I've heard, is that the idea of the window is to shift some high earners to fund loans to push for the playoffs and get promoted through the playoffs.
Yeah, I mean, of course, when you are Leicester in the Championship, that has to be the ambition to get, at the very least, near contention of promotion, right? We don't find ourselves there at the moment. I think it makes a lot of sense. It's very clear that with everything that took so long with Antonio, then he ended up getting injured. There's probably something there with the money, right? Since it hadn't been done earlier. We all now know we are skint. Haven't spent a penny since we signed Wout Faes for 3 million quid.
There's your replacement.
Loan. I mean, we have to wheel and deal, right? Like every penny we save, we are penny pinching at Leicester. If we can get 2 million for Wout Faes for the rest of the season and in saved wages and 400k in loan fee or whatnot, even if we get him back, that's 2 million we've saved up for the end of this, like for the final half of the season, to look for a short-term loan deal on someone who will be fighting for that place and fight, being a good culture bearer, or at the very least adding to the culture of hard work and determination at Seagrave. So like every single transfer out of players who's not relevant to the starting 11, and I'm including someone like Boubakary in that, or Wings, even if just for loan and they're leaving on a free in the summer, that's a positive, because I don't expect us to be able to recoup if any of the transfer fees we spent on them, because they only got 6 months left, man. They could sign with someone right now on a free for summer.
Yeah, somebody else said Jaden Dans.
That's not a bad one.
I don't think VK will be leaving because I think he's still recovering from his knee injury, so no one's going to be buying him. That's for sure. But yeah, I don't know. It's a bit of a mess, isn't it? Let's see what happens. I mean, I think most Leicester fans would say We need a left back. We need a striker. I don't think we had Lyndon Dykes in mind for that. But let me ask you this, Anil. Okay, let me ask you this. What would you think come the end of the window, end of January? How would you feel if we've got Winks out, we've got Faes out, and we've got Soumare out, and only Lyndon Dykes has come in? Would you be content with that? Because you've said yourself that, this season's nothing's going to happen this season. We're not going to go up. You've got high earners gone. You've brought in a makeshift striker.
It'd be good if Lyndon Dykes' name wasn't mentioned. If it was, I would say this: if all those players went out and we didn't sign anyone, I would actually still be happy. Believe
well,
it or
if it's
not.
a loan, you can't mark it down for a loan side of Lyndon
I disagree
Dykes.
with that, because the thing is I think he's totally the wrong profile, right? I think in general, Leicester should be trying to sign players that have got a high ceiling. If they're not, it's okay every now and again to sign what I'd call a marquee player that you'd be very confident will have a big impact at this level of the Championship. So even though I cussed Harry Winks, for 10 million, you would probably have to say that you'd be very confident like a player like that would have a big impact at the Championship. That's why even Antonio, even Callum Wilson, even though they've got injury records, even though they're going to be on high wages, I could still understand that you'd expect both those players, if they were fit, to have a very big impact at this level. Lyndon Dykes is old, and I did not expect a big impact. So no, I wouldn't. Chido Obi, for example, I could understand. High ceiling, he could be good, he couldn't. So what I'm saying is, I think the club, if the club is trying to instill discipline, financial discipline, by getting rid of overpaid players and not signing, it goes against it if they then just do. I'll never forget this. You made this video at the start of the season going, I'm really happy with Leicester. I really think we've turned the corner. We're doing.
You can't mention that video, mate.
On the same day you made that video, what happened? John Rudkin gave Luke Thomas a 4.5-year deal. That is what happened, right? And that's what I don't want to see. So,
Yeah,
for me, like I say,
the 4-year Luke Thomas extension.
From what I've seen, I'd rather play the players that we've got in the squad right now, or give an opportunity to someone, than sign someone who's going to be a clogger. If they go and get someone who's, like I say, got a decent pedigree of some kind, then of course. But Lyndon Dykes ain't that guy.
Apparently, Will Alves has just scored, by the way, on his return. Let me ask you this then, Doc. So I'm going to change the question slightly. What if we ended the window with no incomings whatsoever? No left back, no striker, no number 10, and we'd got Winks, Faes, and Soumare. Let's just say Winks and Faes, because they're the most likely. We've got Winks and Faes gone, but we've signed JJ permanently.
Then I'd be happy with that. I mean,
great success in the words of Borat.
The thing is, right, like with the expectations we have of Leicester right now and their way of acting, I'm happy if we do something that, I'd say succeeds in 2 of the 3 criterias. Improves the dressing room atmosphere or like culture at the club. That is, getting some other way. Improves our situation financially. That is getting rid of the high earners. Or improves us on the pitch. I would say this does all 3 because we get bad cultures, high wages off, and we secure JJ on a permanent, who is, been our best player, if not the second, or if not the best player we've had this season. So, I would very much, I would be happy with that. I think there would be able to be done more. But in terms of Leicester standards in recent windows, that would be a pretty good window for us.
Lads, look at this. I haven't got the goal, Will Alves' goal, but I will show you this. Look at this. He nearly scored a second. Look at the state of this. Thank you, Keir Starmer, for not deleting Twitter yet.
What am I?
One sec. Someone's calling me. There we go.
The classic.
Okay.
It's Keir
here we
Starmer,
go.
you're on Twitter, mate. They're coming for you.
Look at this.
Oh. Do you know what? It's another one, right? Why? That's another problem with Marty. He obviously didn't fancy him very early on. He was trying to get him involved, and What an idiot.
I don't know, Anil. With Alves, I think that's rewriting history a little bit, man. I thought he was. I think for what he has played, what he has shown, he hasn't shown anything. I don't think at Leicester.
But has he really been given
since his injuries?
Will
Well, no, that's
Alves
why
or
he's been sent out on
Silko
loan.
Thomas?
Is it? I would say that what? Yeah, I would. Well, Silko's done pretty well. Silko's not off the back of an ACL and a bloody thingy either, is he? But what I would say is, at least we actually sent Will Alves on loan.
Yeah, all right.
rather than
Unlike
he
what
rots in the
Ruud van
U21.
Nistelrooy and Cooper did.
Yeah.
Cooper, sorry, he just was like, yeah, you're not going out on loan, and then just never played him. So yeah, but I agree, he's not been given a chance. But I don't, I think that's a certain circumstance. But hopefully he shines, man. But I think a lot of Leicester fans have kind of dropped their expectations a little bit. We're not looking at the 20-year-old Will Alves anymore. We're looking at the 17-year-old Louis Page, right? So
And 16-year-old Jeremy Marnger and was it Darren Mutzi, the 15-year-old who's now just absolutely destroying the U21. So dude, Leicester, we're spitting out wonder kids. How the fuck are we in the middle of the championship? But it's everything outside the academy, you could say.
Yeah. Right, I think I missed a few comments here. Frankie says Will Alves needs to be given a go next season, especially from the Championship. Yeah. There was a comment here. Kante go into Fenerbahce?
Yeah.
I heard
And
something about that.
apparently, and apparently, unlike Harry Winks, he's foregoing his salary, even though he was getting paid like 200 million a year there to go and play. There you go.
Could we not have gotten him at Leicester? Could we not? Would he not?
Well, not in the Championship, but there you go.
That's crazy. N'Golo Kante, how old is he now? He's
4, I think.
34!
He might be
Wow.
younger, but I think he is quite old, yeah.
Crazy. West
34.
Ham.
Bang on, yeah.
Yeah, N'Golo Kante and talks to sign for, yeah. Interesting. Apparently he wants to play and qualify for the World Cup. I don't think you qualify for the World Cup NG, mate. I can't see that happening. But
The Shams picked him before. You'd be surprised.
well, yeah, it was that dreaded Huddersfield game. He was almost as bad as Nelson that day. So loan is best. Oh, Will Alves, yeah. But look how Nelson
he
turned
played
it
in
around.
that game. He did, didn't he?
Did
He did
he?
play in that game, yeah.
Oh, yeah.
And he played, I think, I think he played against, was it Tranmere last season
Yeah.
in the League Cup? And he wasn't, I mean, he was all right, but yeah.
No, to be fair, Lux, I think you're right. Actually, thinking about it, him playing week in, week out probably is the right thing for him. But I just think the way that we've used the youth again this season is pretty pathetic.
Yeah, the JJ stuff, we're still none the wiser to what Marty Cifuentes meant by we've got a plan for JJ.
I think that's
Bizarre.
it, Lux. I think you're right. I think that is maybe the most likely thing, that if we get rid of all these players, we can secure him on a permanent deal. And I would take that, to be honest with you.
Yes.
Even if it means a middling season, it means you got your talisman in for next season. You've got a player that, unless he gets injured, is guaranteed to make like 4 or 5 times that money back, and actually is what we want, like a proper talisman. I actually don't think, even we all love Abdul, I don't think he's like a talisman. Like you want to see like a proper blood and thunder type player. We're missing it for years. So I would love that, to be honest with you. I would take it.
Yeah.
Rather than trying to risk it. Yeah.
Although I'm still convinced JJ's agent is probably saying to him, are you sure you want to go to Leicester? But
Yes.
as we've said before, there could be a clause, right? Like, if Leicester don't get promoted, you can go for 25 million, 20 million, whatever. You know what I mean?
Like I say, I think you can make a deal that suits all parties. I think you'll be the captain next season on the club's best wage. And if they don't get promoted, you get a clause to go up. Everyone's going to say yes to that. So I think that's why I've still been quite confident that it'll get done. Like I said, the only way I don't see it get done is if we can flip it to make the money faster. That would be a different one. If, like, say, in Leicester's position, let's say that we do a deal where we sign him for 5 million now and then sold him for 20 million in the summer. But the thing is you've made 15 million out of nowhere. And that's a serious amount in the Championship, right? So that is a different argument to be had. You could decide that another time.
Would you, let me ask you that then, just quickly. Let's, how do I do this? If I click on Championship, I'm going to try something here which I've not done before here. So let me just give it a go. Have I done this before? There we go. So here's JJ, his season performance on screen. Let me ask you this then. Let's end with this. Doc, if he was to sign do you think he would be the best option for captain next season? Because Ricardo's going, Winks is going. Both of them have been captains before. I'm trying to think of alternatives. You've got Bobby Reid, but you've also got Ben Nelson, who would be a young captain, who I think has shown signs of leadership. I'd say JJ.
You're in a rebuild, right? Like the rebuild truly has to start next summer. And if you're a young academy centre back or your wonder loan signing who's turned permanent in this dream world, which hopefully happens, I think it's one of those two because they show the leadership qualities. They go first on the pitch. They act with respect for the club. They fight for the badge. They seem to work hard. They're disciplined. They embody so many things of what I believe contributes to a good culture at a football club. So even if JJ has only been there for a year, or let's say Ben Nelson has only been a regular starter for a year, I definitely think one of them should be captain. And then in the captain club or whatever they call it, you could maybe have a Deco Dover-Reed or Yannick Vestergaard or whatnot. But I definitely think it should be one of those two carrying out the armband to represent the new era of Leicester.
I mean, 8 goals, 3 assists. He's our top goal scorer now, right, JJ?
As well. 8 goals is crazy.
What, a goal every 200 minutes? 204 minutes.
Insane.
And ironically,
40 key passes.
A lot of these from the number 8 position rather than number 10 position. Yeah, but I mean, on the captain thing as well, I actually like it as well that he seems fairly comfortable in the media. He was the one saying there's no chance Leicester will be in League One next season, etc., etc. Like, I know what you're saying about Nelson, but if I'm being honest, he looks like a good player, but he doesn't look like a captain to me. He doesn't seem that loud on the pitch.
He's more of a quiet leader, right? Like, he leads by example, which I wouldn't mind him as like the second captain, but I think JJ is my primary choice.
Yeah, no, I want a mouthy SOB to be the captain. I think it's been a long time.
He can definitely yell. He can definitely yell at people.
But he's not like Schmeichel, Deserved. Yeah, I want to see more like Schmeichel, where you can hear him the whole game.
What about VK for captain?
Shut the fuck up. Luke Thomas.
Yeah, Luke Thomas and VK as the captain duo.
Yeah, I agree. Okay, right, we're going to end it there. Thank you to everybody getting involved in the comments section. Very much appreciated. Make sure to hit a like on the video as well. Hit subscribe. We will be back tomorrow night for Fox's Den. Not got a bloody clue what we're going to talk about yet, so stay tuned for that one. And yeah, cheers to 1-0. Cheers to Doc. We are finally, well, for now, for 6 months, free of Wout Faes. And hopefully we'll have some more transfer news soon. Of course, if anything big happens, we'll be live for it and we'll talk about it.
Just quickly, Locks. I believe that tomorrow is the deadline for announcing if we've breached PSR. So there might be some PSR stuff tomorrow as well.
Oh yeah, that makes sense. Yeah,
well, Captain Economics over here will, I'm sure, tell us that we've not breached.
What? I mean, for the season we've been charged with, of course, but I don't.
No, 24-25 last season.
Yeah, I don't believe there'll be a new charge. Could be, but I don't think so. But then again, remember the financials I have to look at, the external ones, are a year behind, so I don't have the financials for last year. I haven't been able to look into that. I think that's important to consider. It depends what year they put Ruud Sakin in. Yeah, I will say I just had my auditing exam and it went pretty well this past week, and so I'll be studying auditing and external auditing and revision and all that. I've been for this half year and will be for the next half, so I'm looking forward to see the Leicester one in April. I'll be able to do a better deep dive than last time. I'm educating myself for you guys, or no, for myself, but I'll be able to hopefully give a more comprehensive breakdown.
He doesn't carry a shield, but he carries a helmet. It's on his forehead.
I carry my revision glasses when I have to look at the small numbers on the page.
That joke went over. Duck said that.
Yeah, I'm probably too young for that.
Too young. Shut up. Right. Okay, we're going to end it there. Thank you, and we will be back tomorrow night for Fox's Den. Cheers all. Enjoy the rest of your night. Bye-bye. No more 200 grand, but our new sponsors, The Beautiful Frame, have smashed it with this Jamie Vardy piece. It's unreal. They're a local Leicester business as well, which makes it even better. And not just City, they do prints for other clubs as well. So it's perfect if you are stuck for a birthday or Christmas present for one of your friends or family. Now, the best bit, they have sorted BTG viewers out with a discount. Just use BTG12 at checkout for money off. BTG12. Grab yours now at thebeautifulframe.com. The link is down below.